episode of Creative Writing Advice with me, JJ Barnes. If you don't know me, I'm the author of How to Write a Story, which is out now on Amazon. It's in paperback, Kindle, free on Kindle Unlimited. I take you from the beginning of your story all the way through to the end, and I cover everything in between, which is mostly what I do over here on YouTube. I cover writing advice topics. I break them down, I build them back up again, and I try to make them as accessible and fun for you to understand so that you can use them in your own writing. But Monday, I always say this, it's a little bit different. So I was getting sent questions about my life as a writer, things that I particularly like in stories, and also a load of other questions to do with just getting to know me. So I said that I would do on a Monday an Ask Me Anything session. So I get sent questions about literally anything. I pop them all into here. I answer them at random through the episode. I try not to go on for too long because I get sent so many that I get overexcited, end up rambling and rambling and rambling. But yeah, I answer them at random and try to just have a bit of fun with it, answer everything as honestly as I can, and yeah, we'll see what happens. If you want to send them in, at the end of the video I tell you how to do that, so just stick around. Yeah, I'll see what we get. Right, let's dig in. Okay. Number 1. Who do you fancy other than John? John is my my partner. Who do I fancy other than John? Oh my god, loads of people. But they're all like characters on TV and things. I fancy David Tennant as Doctor Who. I fancy, what's his face, who plays Jamie Fraser? Oh my god, Josette will kill me. What's his name? Sam Heughan. I fancy Sam Heughan as Jamie Fraser in Outlander. I fancy Nick from New Girl. I fancy Thingamabob in Friends. Who plays, Pete in Friends, Pete Becker in Friends. I really fancy him. I fancy Pete Becker from Friends. We're watching old Friends episodes. I'm like, Monica, what are you doing? He's lovely. He's all fluffy and soft and sweet. Yeah. Loads of people. Nobody in real life. Just like characters in TV and the ones I'm supposed to fancy. Let me see. What was the last song you listened to? Space Unicorn. Space Unicorn. I'll find out the name of the person who sings it. Some guy who does kids music, but I've got children and they played Space Unicorn this morning, so nothing cool, I'm afraid. See. Do you think being vegan makes sense? Why? Yes, I do think it makes sense. I'm not vegan, I'm vegetarian. I eat vegetarian cheeses and I eat eggs, things like that. I have oat milk rather than real milk, but I will use real milk. I'm not against it. I try to do minimal dairy. I don't have no food with a face. But yeah, I absolutely think it makes sense, and I don't think it's a bad thing at all because we aren't entitled to the lives of others. But I'm not vegan because I'm not committed enough, and that's my shame, not judgment on veganism. Let me see. Have you ever hooked up with someone you met online? Well, I've used dating apps, so I have been in relationships with people I met on dating apps, so yes. Let's see. You mentioned you like the Myron Bolitar series. I do. In your work, do you have anyone whose diction stands out as much as Windsor Horn Lockwood III? I love this question, and I remember who asked it as well. It was on last week's video, a comment. I aspire, actually, to this, because Wyn, if you don't know the books, imagine Niles Crane, David Hyde Pierce. That's who, in my head, that's who I picture as Windsor Horn Lockwood III, Wyn. Imagine him if he was an absolute sociopath, like really kind of, I want to say, because I really like the character, it's really difficult to describe him in a way that makes sense about why I like him, but you have to read the books and it makes sense. Basically, he's kind of violent, he's a black belt in all these different martial arts, he kills people sort of as he sees them necessary to be killed, he sort of has a sort of judge, jury and executioner personality. He's really not good with women. He sees women as a tool for sex, and yeah, I shouldn't like this character, should I? But anyway, he worked with Myron Bolitar. He's kind of like sort of his wingman, but that sort of downplays his role. It's really difficult to explain. Basically, he sees what he thinks is good. This is not to do with his diction. This is not right. I'll carry on anyway. So he sees things happening and he decides who needs to die, and he takes a lot of pleasure, and he's very talented at killing them and hurting them. He has a very unique speech pattern. As I say, I just picture Niles Crane, to be honest. I aspire to this because if you read a line that's spoken by Witten, you couldn't make it sound like Myron speaking, because he has a unique speech patterns. And I've talked before in videos about making sure your characters are distinct and clear, and you should be able to tell who is speaking, not just by what they say, but the way they speak, because everyone has a unique pattern of speech. And Wynne is such a perfect example of this, because his speech is his. You couldn't just give it to a different character if you needed to space out the speaking in the scene a bit. You'd have to rewrite the line completely, because he's a very distinct, unique personality and speaker. And it's really, really clever. So no, I don't think I do. I definitely try. And I've talked before about writing natural dialogue, writing distinct characters. This is something that I aspire to and aim for in my own work, and we all should, because it really is important. But whether I do it as well, I don't think I do. I think Harlan Coben is the master of this in a way. I mean, not just the only one, because I've talked before about Aaron Sorkin's dialogue as well, and he's also a master. But I think it's aspirational and inspirational, and no, I do not have anyone who is as clear, distinct when they speak as Wynne. But I'm working on it, and it's something that I aim to improve about my own writing. And yeah, I love that question because I love the books I read, so thank you. I also love Myron. I love those books, they're so good. Right, let me see. I have always said there is no wrong way to pronounce Fajouk. So far, I have come up with 8 ways. Can you top that? Okay, so when I get questions from Fajouk, I always say Fajouk. But if there are 8 ways to pronounce Fajouk, so we've got Fajouk, F-Juke, F-Jayouk, Fajouk. You can have a silent K and just go Fajouk. Oh, you can have Fajouk or Fajouk. And for a silent J and go with Fook. Oh no, I'm sorry, I tried. Okay. What do you prefer, autumn or spring? Autumn. I love autumn. It's my absolute favourite season, but I also do like spring. I don't like summer. I get too hot and sweaty and grumpy, but I love it when the seasons are changing. I love it when the cold starts to get warm in spring. I love it when the hot starts to get cool in autumn. Let me find some more. There's loads in there, so I want to mix them all up right. Alright, I'm not going to do too many more, because I do end up going on for too long. Okay. What's your favourite book? What is my favourite book? There's a lot of answers to that. Don't know. It's a really difficult one to answer, because there's books that have meant so much to me for so many different things. Like Handmaid's Tale, Wild Swans, 1984. These are incredibly important books that have shaped me. And then books that just I love, like the Harry Potter books, Charlotte's Web, Winnie the Pooh, books that I read with my children that I just love reading. Watership Down, like, affected me so much. I don't know. I'm really bad at answering these questions. I'm so sorry. I get sent them all the time, like favourite film, favourite book, favourite song, and I'm like, how can you answer when there's so many wonderful stories in the world? I don't know, I'm sorry. Let me see. I'll do a couple more. This is another problem one. What's your favourite childhood song? Oh, I don't know. A song I was introduced to in childhood was I Am Woman by Helen Reddy, that I've always loved because it makes me think of my mother. But that's not a childhood song. My 4-year-old is very into Jingle Bells. She loves that, sings it all year round. So that's a childhood song. Oh, I don't know. I'm being rubbish this week. I don't know. Oh, man. Okay, one more and I'll see if I can do better justice to it. Have you ever visited somebody in prison? No. No, I haven't. I would if somebody I loved went to prison, I'd visit them, but I haven't. So that's an easy one to answer with a definite answer. So thank you very much for watching another session of Ask Me Anything. On Wednesday and Friday I'll be doing a more traditional breakdown of story techniques, writing structure, characterization, things like that. And every Monday I do Ask Me Anything. So if you want to put a question in the bag for me to answer, hopefully I'll do better than just like, oh, I don't know. Then you can send them to me, either put a comment on these videos, or if you go to my website, which is jjbarnes.co.uk, over there you'll find links to all my social media. You can come find me and chat to me over there. Also talk to me about writing and stories and stuff, because that is my favourite thing. And if you subscribe to these videos, I put out a video every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. You can watch them, learn writing stuff that will hopefully make you feel empowered to tell your story. So thank you very much, and I'll be back again soon. Bye.